am not a gamer. I'm not a game reviewer. I'm not a game commentator. As someone who appreciates the art of gaming, I feel the need to rant and ramble a little bit. I don't have a script. I don't have anything in front of me that's gonna help me with this, but I'm just gonna talk anyway. I have only played 2 horror games. I played Slender Man for about 30 minutes on my iPod in middle school, and in my remedial math course in high school because I was an idiot. One of my classmates came up and handed me his iPod and said, "Hey, can you beat the 3rd night of FNAF?" And he handed me his iPod, and in about 5 seconds, Foxy killed me. And I thought, oh, that was fun, and then I gave it back and I never bothered again. I watched people play the first 4 games of Poppy, and it actually looked really cool. And you know, as an artist and a writer, I felt inspired by them. I wanted to play them. I wanted to get to know this situation, so I played the first game and I really loved it. I was surprised by the amount of ambiance this game had. I liked the chase sequence so much. It's so cool, and especially the behind the scenes of how they rendered in multiple models that attack you at different points. I really like that. Now, I tried to play the second game. I did. My computer wouldn't have it. I have a pretty decent laptop over here, but I guess that's a problem. I have a PC, not a desktop. Regardless, I got to the wacky huggy situation and the lag was not good, so I had to stop. And then I started playing chapter 3 and I loved it. And then I got through the PT sequence, and immediately following that, my computer crashed and crashed again and again and again, and I spent more time waiting on loading screens that crashed than actually playing the game, so I stopped. I gave up. I was like, whatever, I know the plot. I don't need to have this rodeo. And I got the games in a bundle, so I didn't even bother with chapter 4, because if chapter 3 was crashing that bad, then I wasn't even gonna bother. And then chapter 5, the one I was so excited for. I had a whole setup. I made sure to only play this in the dark at night. I put on my noise canceling headphones and I got it going, and I forgot chapter 4 ended with Huggy, and it legitimately startled me when chapter 5 loaded in because it starts there. I had a bowl of ice cream with me that very rapidly melted because I had to quickly run away, which was fun. I like that. The other games did not start that intense, and this one did, and it set a very high precedent for the rest of the game. It was so high energy and action-packed, and you already had these new components you're working with, and it was phenomenal. It was so well done. And then, well, that's where the fun ended. I don't remember. I didn't record any of it because heaven knows my computer would have exploded. From what I remember, Huggy steals your backpack and you have to get a new one. And I like this part of the game where you start out completely in the unknown. You are not familiar with mechanics that don't use the grab pack. So you have to kind of wander around in the dark. It's creepy. There are these little monsters that try to attack you, but they avoid light. And hey, I respect their boundaries, so I left them alone and I just blinded them with the bright lights. So I played this game before they patched some elements of it, which included the dialogue. Most of the dialogue was at a normal level, but for some reason, some of the dialogue that was over the intercom was like at 200%. So out of nowhere, it would sound like someone was right here. And I turned down the dialogue volume in settings. I fumbled with the settings a lot in this game. I turned it very down low, but then I'd have to turn it back up because when a character talked in conversation, the volume went down for some reason. So for cutscenes, I had to go back in and turn the volume up. And if it was outside of a cutscene, I had to turn the volume down. And it was a lot of back and forth. I got very familiar with the escape key. Then you meet a new character whose name is Giblet, but for some reason they pronounce it Giblet.
My name's Giblet.
Which I don't understand, but I respect it, I guess. So, okay. I think the character design peaked in chapter 4, and I know people revere chapter 3 as being the best, and it is. Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to why this chapter could have been the best and why it's not. Chapter 3 was where it peaked. Chapter 4, I really like the character design. Even Doey's boss form. I know people weren't a huge fan of the salamander thing. I really liked it. This one, they kind of look rough. And I'm not talking texture, baby. Here, let me pull up a picture. I gotta remember what this guy looks like. Yeah. Ew. Like, he has leprosy. I don't get it. Even as a toy, this doesn't make sense. Like, here's a picture of him in cartoon form. That's adorable. I like that. And I get it that his actual character in game is supposed to be a little bit more rough around the edges. But he looks like he hasn't showered in a couple weeks. And he's got some flakes coming off. Is that a goatee? Yeah, I don't like it. He's got an eye patch. Also, what is with the left eyeballs missing? Throughout the whole franchise, if someone gets injured, it's always the left eyeball. We have that with Giblet. We have that with Poppy. We have that with Kissy. Even the frickin' prototype has something going on with his left eye, and I'm not really sure why that is. Yeah. Oh, he's got like veins coming out of him. Oh, I forgot about him. What's his name? I don't know. The red guy. I like the red guy. Yeah, he's like the only character that I cared about in this chapter. I'm still not a fan of his character design, but it's better. He looks like a toy. Yeah, I like him. Too bad he was only in 2% of the game. What's with that? You have a good character. Aw, this one he's making a heart. Yeah, why couldn't we have more of him? Okay, what does this character do? He meets us, he pimp slaps us, and then Giblet's like, hey, don't do that. They call him the butcher. And then he walks away, and then they lead me deeper into the factory, and they go through a human-sized door, which they lock behind me, and then they tell me, find your own way in, idiot. And I had to do this stupid freaking puzzle. And I'm sorry, I know it's a horror game. I understand that. I understand that horror games use shadows and light to play with you and make things more intense. What I don't understand is games 1 through 4 made sure to illuminate and make interactable objects so apparent to the naked human eye, in this game, for some reason, makes everything blend in together. I don't know if they were trying to be quote-unquote more realistic with the environment. I don't know how realistic you can be. There's red goop everywhere. There's a giant freaking heart in one room with some pumpkin wooden head Halloween faces coming out of it. If you're trying to be realistic, this is not the game to be realistic. Now, first of all, they ditched me. Second of all, they're just watching me fumble around with this puzzle, and every 10 seconds, Giblet over here is saying, oh, can you believe this guy can't even solve a puzzle? Hey, what's taking so long, my guy? And then I get through the door, and then he's like, good luck, you're kind of on your own, have fun remembering what your objective is, and that's it. Oh yeah, I forgot about the dinosaur. That was like shocking in a cool way, coming into this room and there was a giant Bronchiosaurus, which is my favorite dinosaur. So it made me very sad to see that his innards were spilling out onto the floor. On a side note, I think the animators kind of got lazy with this one. And I can say this as an animator. I noticed these things. So this is the first example that was apparent to me. Huggy steals your grab pack, so you need a new one, right? You climb up a dinosaur and the grab pack he's chewing on it. And so you go onto a ledge and then you get the grab pack from him. You put it on and he was chewing on the grab pack. But then when you get it, he keeps chewing on air. I don't know why the animators could have just made him stop. I guess that would have been an extra 10 minutes of work. And like, whatever, I look past it because it's the first half hour of the game. Who cares? I'm sure it'll get better as we go. It does not get better as you go. Another point that I remember the animation being underwhelming is Huggy. So I like dying on purpose in games because I like seeing the death animations. As an animator, I like seeing that stuff. I like, trying to find cool little tidbits from it. During the first chase with Huggy, I just kind of stood there and I was like, oh, I want to see what did they change? What did they update? What did they add? It's the same. He does the same. He's supposedly like beefed up, but he makes the same noise, and the animation is no different from chapter 1. Yeah, what else? Oh, Lily Lovebraid. Her animation was weird. It was really fast. Every time Lily Lovebraid kills you, her death animation is just like it happens so fast that it almost sounds like they cut off her scream because she goes, ah! And then it's just over. And then you're at the death screen and you're like, okay, I think she had a moment. When you rescue Kissy and Poppy, you open the door and they're like, oh, thanks so much for your help. Now we have to escape. Let's go all the way up to the attic. And I'm like, got it, sister. Don't even worry about it. Follow me. And I started going up the stairs and I didn't hear any footsteps behind me. So I stopped and I look behind and they're not there. So I'm like, did they spawn out of the room? So I walked all the way back down the stairs and they're still there. And I wait a minute and then Poppy goes, did you find a way to the attic? Let's go before Lily finds us. Woo, it's very intense. But they just stand there menacingly. So I go up the stairs and then the lights turn off, but they do this repeatedly and I hate it. I really hate it. They do this because they want to hide characters T-posing in the dark. I haven't looked at the actual animations for these. I promise you they are either not loaded into the map or they're T-posing out there. I liked Lily's mansion. I didn't like the puzzles. It wasn't clear which ones took precedent. It wasn't clear what elements you needed apart from the... Oh, I skipped over like the majority of the game. What am I doing? Hang on, let's go back. I'm sorry. So there's a really big chunk of this game that's kind of just flying around at the speed of sound, and that's it. That's all you do, and it takes a long time. You go to these different rooms and it's clear that they had a really good environmental designer on their team, probably a whole team for the environments, honestly. Whoever did the concept work, I like you. Level designers, I have some qualms. Because what was the point? Did we have to meander? Did we have to... People keep saying that it's very monotonous, and I agree. It is. I don't remember a whole lot of it. I just remember getting bored, and I'm not easily bored. I like slow burns. I like taking my time with things. My blood pressure it went up. Like, I want to be engrossed in a game. I want to put on my headphones and listen to the music and ambient noise and just enjoy it like I'm in the world. With this one, I gave up. I just started watching YouTube videos while playing the game, and that's not a good thing because it means I'm done. The environments are so cool. They're so well designed. I mentioned earlier there's this room with a giant heart thing bulge in it. That sounds wrong. There's a big fleshy mass. That's kind of better. In order to progress, you have to get rid of some of the tumors and then break off the branches. And I thought, ooh, how spooky would it be if these inanimate faces suddenly became animate when you finish the puzzle. And they didn't do anything. They were just kind of decoration, which is weird for a video game because in a video game it's an interactable movie, so you expect it to be, interactable. What else? Oh, ooh. I'm getting mad just thinking about it again. Okay, so I have a major problem with this game because normally with the other games, you get collectibles along the way if you look in the right corners and nooks and whatnot, which is cool. In this game, you have to do a side quest to get the collectibles. And I've never been a fan of collectibles in games. I don't care about them. It's like, cool, I get a stuffed animal that I can't have in real life. So I just kind of look at it in my inventory and then that's it. So I don't know. There was one level that had my favorite puzzle in the entire franchise. And I am not being exaggeratory. I love this one. You had to time it out. You had to pull the electric prods out from the ceiling, and you had one at the end of the ceiling, and you kind of swing around the whole area and weave them in and out. I dedicated a good 20 minutes to solving this puzzle, and when you hear the dong 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 at the very end, I was so excited. I thought, yes, this is how I progressed the game. I felt so proud of myself. I did not need a walkthrough. I solved it all on my own, and it opens a door, and when you go through the door, It's a stuffed animal. But there's a second door, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go through the second door to get to the next stage, and the second door puts you where you started. And I realized I just wasted 20 minutes on nothing. So, you might be wondering, what's the actual puzzle you need to get through the main doors? Well, I'm so glad you brought that up on your own. You hold a button, for a couple seconds. No, I lied. It's 2 buttons. You hold them down, couple seconds, and then the door opens. Yay! Why they decided to put the cool puzzle off to the side and not have that progress the game, and then they have the lamest puzzle of the game open the door? I don't understand that at all. I don't know. Where was I? Then there was this clock thing that was alright, and this was both an amazing environment and the dumbest one of the game, because you get in there and it's cool. It's like, whoa, it feels like a completely different, as the kids say, a different vibe from the rest of the game. And it really puts into perspective the gargantuan scale of this entire factory. And I actually really enjoyed the puzzle in this game and getting the different shapes. So you open up this clock looking thing and you're like, okay, I just need to pull myself through with the magnetic cuffs to get in there. And whoa, but there's a second clock. And it's not really a clock, it doesn't tell the time, it's just a radial situation. So it opens up the circle, and then you have to open up the second one, then you have to time it, so you use the magnetic cups to wonk yourself over, and then you yoink over to the next one, and then you're just in a weird, cramped, dark space, and you don't know where to go. I didn't know where to go. And the clock closes behind you, so you can't get out. So I just kind of stood there wondering if I had soft-locked myself, which is a possibility because they hadn't patched anything in the game yet. I kind of fumbled around for a minute, walked around, and then apparently you are supposed to progress that way. The path is not clear. And look, I am never going to say that a game should make the path with bright neon lights and giant arrows that say, go this way, here. Oh, I got a message on Instagram. Aw, the doctor messaged me. Aw, what a sweetie. See, I can't hate on this game. So, Baldwin Williams is the guy who plays Dr. Sawyer in this game, and he follows me on Instagram. So I messaged him saying, oh, I just beat chapter 5. I'm excited to see you in the next game, and we'll get to that. And he liked my message, and he said, thank you so much. Oh, what a sweetie. Well, thanks, Baldwin. Where was I? Oh, yeah. You don't need a clear path to get to everywhere in the game, but if your level design makes me feel like I'm in the wrong place and then I wind up going the right direction, that's not so. Oh, I forgot about this. So throughout the game, every once in a while you just hear this breathing around you, and I don't know how people get through ASMR because I hate the sound of people breathing into my ear, and it was so creepy. It was so well done because it was like some weird gurgling breathing noise, and it didn't sound like it was coming from the intercoms or anything. It sounded like someone was legitimately right behind you, and I love that because it just gives it this different feeling that is really off-putting. I have now completed the game. I don't know who was breathing. I don't know if it was my character. I don't know if it was the prototype, because up until this point, the prototype has not made it clear he uses oxygen and needs to inhale and exhale with some sort of diaphragmatic thing. I don't know if it was Lily Lovebraids. It didn't sound like Lily. I don't know. Yeah. My favorite environment of the game was Lily's mansion, and I think most people have kind of echoed that sentiment for good reason. It's a really cool environment. I kept walking around thinking, oh, I'd love my house to look like this. But yeah, half the puzzles don't do anything. There's one room that you get to, and there's a switch that you can grab and supposedly like crank, right? You can't until the chase sequence, which we will get to. Ooh. There was a seal that you push its nose and then it farts out a projectile. I didn't know what it was, but it knocked into the piano and it closed the lid, so I thought, oh, that was cute. I guess they just added that to be funny. Well, I should go about my day now. And then I went to the next room and I'm looking around like, what do I do? What is the next part of this puzzle? And I looked up a walkthrough, and then they said, oh yeah, you need a code to get into the piano. and I thought it was just like some weird Easter egg. It was not clear that I needed, because you can't tell what the object is. You don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I couldn't tell what the object was. Just boom, because it zipped by so fast into the piano. It didn't feel like it mattered. And Poppy, they like doing this, and I'm not a fan of it. They really like puzzles where you need to climb 3 flights of stairs to get a thing, and then you go all the way back down to the first floor to do a thing, and then it gives you nothing, and you have to go all the way back up to the 3rd floor. I don't like that. Gosh, it takes up time. It's not a puzzle. It's just a chore. And yes, it's a horror game. You should be scared and a little spooked out, but it's not scary. And it's still a video game, and it's not fun. Oh yeah, Lily Lovebraid's character. I haven't looked up. Actually, let's look it up now. Let's see. Lily Lovebraid. Ooh, you've been in movies. What movies have you been on? Wait, you were Bootleg Caroline? Nicole! What? Oh, I'm glad you landed a Poppy role. Good for you. And then it happens. We go to a tea party, and the prototype emerges as the special guest of the hour. And when I saw him, I was confused. I was looking at him and I thought, Pomni? You're not supposed to. Well, I guess Jax was in the 4th game, so maybe it makes sense. He looks like the love child between Pomni and the moon guy from Security Breach, but lamer. How disappointing, man. They built this up for years of what this entity, this force of evil and power and unmatched strength would look like, and it's just a jester with teeth. Okay, that's cool, I guess. Catnap's shrine of the prototype was scarier than the actual prototype. That one looked insane. You can only imagine what the real thing is gonna look like. This weird mutation, this amalgamation of other characters and toys meshed together to make this giant thing. And it's just, a guy. It's just like a spider with Pomni's face on it for some reason. I don't know. I'm so tired. I don't know. Ooh. Do you know what I did? I used incognito mode on my phone for a week because I knew somebody was somehow going to get the prototypes designed and leak it on the internet. And they did, by the way. I looked it up. Someone did leak it like the day before the game came out. And I knew if I needed to look up a walkthrough on YouTube, someone somewhere out there was going to put the prototype in the thumbnail. They already did that with Chapter 3. They spoiled Nightmare Cat. Can I get a Kit Kat for Cat? They already spoiled Nightmare Catnap in the 3rd game and all of the thumbnails. And I did my darndest to avoid it in this game. And it's just that. Oh, hang on. I'm gonna look up a picture again. I want to actually get a good look at this thing. Let's get a good look at you. Alright, so we've got a spider with a human rib cage and a flashlight and some arms. That's it. Huh. Yeah. How disappointing. Mommy Longlegs, her dying line was, "No, he'll make me part of him. You can't do this." And he takes her entire torso, including her head and face, and his design only uses her arm. What? Where's the rest of her? Let's look at Catnap's. Let's look at the shrine. I mean, look at this thing. That is an absolute nightmare. You can only imagine what the real thing is gonna look like. You have all these toys meshed together and these drooping faces of the tormented dead. Some guy named Rick. Someone made a sculpture of this. Oh my gosh. That's so cool. You got a dinosaur, you got Dog Day. This looks so much cooler. It made me feel like we were gonna get some sort of mix between a scorpion and a centipede monster with, with the faces of the damned on it. That would have been so much cooler. And then we get this. He's got the primary colors on him. That's neat. Oh, his T-pose looks hilarious. wait. His so you got Kissy Missy's arm and Mommy and Huggy. They're also T-posing, but it's going straight out. So that looks kind of phallic. Oh no. Oh no, is he wearing, you got a bow tie? Oh, how lame. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy game number 6. I'm just gonna watch somebody play it online because I'm sure there'll be a chapter 7. Yeah. Oh well. I like the music though. This is me from the future. I forgot to record a couple of things and I have a different microphone now. Lily Lovebraids had a few moments that were cool. I really love the blacklight game you play with her. I just wish it was a little bit, not so trial and error because it gets a little redundant. Also, what I said with the animation earlier, when we meet the prototype and Kissy jumps on him, they use like this quote-unquote blood effect. It was just a weird red cloud. They did that so they could hide the fun parts of Kissy fighting the prototype and messing up a whole room, which kind of sucked. I would have really liked to have seen that. And then the final chase with Lily Lovebraids was a slog. It was a drag. It sucked. I would have been happier with it if it didn't take 4 nanoseconds for her to kill you. This chase so desperately wants you to be a speedrunner, but the rest of the game isn't about speed, so they didn't design for speed. It just got really tedious, and her quote-unquote death was so funny because she just kind of fell and said no, and then she got squished by a cloud really slowly. So yeah, she's clearly alive because they did that with Huggy too. Baby, I promise you, Huggy is also alive. They're not gonna kill Huggy. He's the mascot of mascots. I was so startled that the chase with the prototype, first of all, there are so many chases in this game. The chase with the prototype, it felt like he was purposefully giving you more time to gather yourself, and I'm not sure why that is. There are higher stakes with the prototype, not with Lily. It was like he saw Lily, on your heels and was like, whoa, hey, I have a little more respect for you than that. And then he backed off. Like, I remember playing that sequence and I would pause because it felt like there was a lot of downtime and I'd look behind me and the prototype would just be sitting there watching me. Also, how are we alive? Because the prototype stabbed us with knife fingers and then dropped us in a vat of red hallucinogenic goop and then somehow pulls us out and cattle prods us back to life. And it's like, whoa, hey, you're totally good. Not a scratch on you. Okay, let's get to the next section now. Also, the entire section of the game that's going through Huggy's backstory and whatnot, I liked the memories. It was horrifying, and it makes you kind of get in the headspace of, oh, this isn't just some monster. This is a kid who probably doesn't even remember who they were to begin with, and I like that progression. I like being able to empathize a bit better with this character because people like Huggy. People liked Huggy when he was trying to murder them. I don't think that's ever gonna change. So I like that they actually gave us a reason to like him, not just ironically. I will say that the whole Gracie segment and going through every projection, like, okay, now we're slowing down for lore, but it's all redundant. Yes, we get it. They put kids in these rooms and had projections playing of, you're a toy, go to sleep, you'll wake up tomorrow and it'll be a better day. And then you go to the next projection, oh, calm down, don't worry, you're a toy, it's okay, we're just gonna, put you in a dental chair. That's not alarming. My dad's ranting about Canada. What else? Oh, I want to defend Mob because technically they never marketed this game, quote unquote, as the final installment. I mean, they kind of lean towards it, and the ex-developer of Mob Entertainment did go on record to say Chapter 5 was supposed to be the finale. What they did is they took the last one and they split it into 2, and now they're just adding another one on top of it. So will Chapter 6 be the end? I don't know. Probably not, because Chapter 5 did end up being so successful number-wise. And Mob, I don't know what your hesitation is. You're a horror game, and you keep saying, no, the next one will definitely be, it'll be scary, it'll be the most unsettling, it'll be the most mature yet. But then you refuse to do mature things. You never kill anybody off, and they never stay dead. I mean, at least any of the main characters. If it's a character people actually like, well, then they die immediately. We had a whole surgical floor that they did
nothing with. Yeah, we had a couple of toys that we put out of their misery. They were having active surgery performed on them, and there was not a drop of blood. Nothing. And what they're doing is they're making a game that's too hard for kids to play, but the dialogue and the characters are all marketed to kids. So I don't think they even know who their audience is. So I think you people need to figure out who you are, and so help me if chapter 6 doesn't end this nightmare, I'm gonna have a nightmare. You know what, if they make some patches, if they update this game and fix a lot of the issues with the level design and the characters and the chase sequences, I might give it a second chance. And honestly, if someone else pays for it, I'll play chapter 6. I just find it comforting watching other YouTubers play these levels and knowing I'm not alone in fumbling with them for so long. Yeah. Overall, I'm not mad at the game. I'm not mad at Mob Entertainment. I'm disappointed. There was so much potential, and I can see why there were creative differences that led to one of the creators of Mob Entertainment taking a hike. I hope they fix it in the future. Again, if they patch it, if they fix some things, then I'm more than happy to give it another shot. If I get a better computer someday, I'll probably record it. But for now, I hope you have yourself a lovely time, whatever time that may be. It might even be playtime. Okay, bye.